Today is March 10th and it's about 2 p.m. and we have rain, and we hardly ever have rain, so it's kind of exciting because we went on a 2-week Hawaiian cruise and we were plagued by rain the whole time. So I will say that it's not like I haven't had rain in my life for the last couple of weeks, but it's special to have it here in the desert because we just don't get rain that often. So I love that we're getting to enjoy this today, and I think it's supposed to be this way for the next couple of days. Kind of a drizzly rain is what's going on, which is perfect. It's about 60 degrees out, and since I haven't had an update to my garden in a couple weeks, probably almost 3 weeks, I thought I'd show my garden. I'm going to start out by showing the trees. I don't know if you can see it, but the plum trees are getting their blooms, the little pink blooms. This tree is still looking rather sad. We've had lots of wind, but it still hasn't knocked any of those pods and stuff. I mean, I think it's just a stressed tree, but I will say that it's got some buds on it, so it's not dead. It's just struggling, and might have to get a tree doctor in here or something. This tree is budding out. It looks pretty nice. I think that tree always is a little bit later, and it's a little bit more fragile. In fact, the guy that cuts our tree says that you have to be really careful with that kind of a ash tree because it doesn't like a whole lot of trim done to it or anything. And then this big tree here that's got debris still on it, it's going through something as well. We also had some really cold weather while we were gone. We have a system that kind of lets us know what the temperatures are, and we had a lot of cautions for cold at our house. And so some of the lantanas got kind of hit by it. The bougainvilleas we brought out, you'll notice there's some black on them, and that's basically from the cold, although they're still thriving. The discoloration on these honeysuckle plants are because of the cold. My broccoli went to flower, and it's pretty. I'll collect some seeds from it. That chard is sure pretty. And then this is my cauliflower that I'm going to harvest because it's starting to look kind of ratty. So, and I have harvested some of the kale as well. Then before we left, we planted a bunch of flower seeds that are pollinating flowers, and so they're starting to come up. Spring is right around the corner. So I'm hoping that they survive any kind of temperature changes we have. But there's quite a few. I mean, we just sprinkled the Dollar Tree had these big boxes of pollinating seeds, and I just sprinkled them throughout these beds. So I'm trying to think of what we've done to the garden. Oh, I had a poinsettia here, and the wind snapped it off. I might have talked about that. This is looking in worse shape, and I believe it's because it's colder at this end of the house. So it's kind of struggling because we did get some severe cold. And that's the same way with this bougainvillea. It did not like being on the corner here. The one down at the other end is a little bit more protected. So my beets and my arugula are still doing wonderful. I've got some kohlrabi that's doing really well. These sweet peas over here aren't doing much, or snap peas aren't doing much. I did plant some onions in this bed before we went on vacation, some onion seeds. So they're starting to come up. Then we have my winter bed here. The cilantro's looking good. This is broccoli. Kale. Kale's doing really well. And if it sounds like I have a cold, it's because I did get a cold in Hawaii. Here's a kohlrabi. I've been watching videos on how to cook that. Kind of interested to see that happen. My strawberries. I think I need to get rid of some of the dead fruit. There's some kind of black looking strawberries on here. I was thinking maybe the birds would get them, but they didn't really. So here's a little kohlrabi in the pot. I have some arugula over here along with some green onions. Some more arugula growing there. Green onion there. And then I have my dill, cilantro. There's some green onions in here as well. Kale, my spinach, and a kohlrabi. So yesterday I was trying to think of what I've done in the garden that shows some progress, and I guess the thing that I have done, we moved this rue, which we still don't know what you do with rue, but we moved it over here and it's thriving. It kind of looks pale and sickly, but it's actually doing fine. So, and we kind of put that to hide some of the electrical there. That's my German thyme. Anyway, I was trying to think of some of the progress that I've had, and I believe the only thing that I've kind of done since I've been home is we did leaves yesterday, knowing that it was gonna rain. I wanted to get some of the debris cleaned up. So, and I wanted to show these two. Well, I'm getting ahead of myself. I cut these petunias back right before we went on vacation, so they're coming along. I won't see any gazanias popping out today because it's not sunny. I'm getting lots of little pink flowers around the fountain. The lantana that I planted here, I think, are still alive. Very few red berries on the whatever this is called. Now I can't even think of it. But there's very few red berries. It'll be covered in white flowers very shortly. My salvia over here did not care for the cold. It was so brilliantly red and now it's struggling. I was sad about that. These things just sprouted like crazy. Oh, there's a... Oh, how cool that I captured this. The hummingbird. Beautiful. Little purple head. Green body. I didn't mean to scare him away. Anyway, my flowering kale is flowering. Or my ornamental kale is flowering. We did cut this coleus back. And we did that before we left too, which it doesn't care too much for the cold, but it's still alive. And I cut this lantana back. And I trimmed up the mums. And then I did leaf removal back here. So all of the leaves that were in my rocks and everything back here are all gone now. And then I still have these red petunias back in here. Pretty. And you can see the wet sidewalks. I'm out here with no jacket on and it's really nice. So then let me see. Is there anything happening? I started this before I left, but I need to take this bar and dig this plant out. And I don't know what I'm going to put in here yet, but it's definitely going to get redone. And here's my pomegranate, and there is some buds on it. Beautiful. I love looking at the growing garden. Show the skies. And then I worked in leaf removal on the top of this thing because this olive tree just shed like crazy. So, and I took all the stuff that was on the pool table. But while I was up there yesterday, I noticed all of these purple flowers. I have to remember what they're called too. I can't think of what they are. There's some plum tree blossoms, just a little bit right now. My mind's gone blank as far as identifying plants. I know it's a type of vine and they're invasive, but they're not morning glories. And they have two types, a major and a minor, but I can't think of what they're called. There's also been some new growth on my oleanders, so I'm happy about that. I need to cut back this lantana still. And then I noticed something that has never flowered, and I bought it at Costco years ago. Oh, here's my petunias here. Here's the heavenly bamboo. It's always pretty. Can't go wrong. There's some new growth on that oleander, and there is on that one back there as well. This, I got that at Costco, and it's an evergreen type thing. I planted it probably 3 or 4 years ago. I was looking to see if I had a stake in here, something that would identify what it was. I thought I did. Obviously not. Somewhere I've kept tabs on what that is, though. But that's sure pretty. That's never bloomed before. I'll take delayed beauty. Don't know that this is going to make it. That's one of those grasses. And then what we did is move all the lantana that were scattered throughout in here, and they're looking pretty good. I think that's one of my lilies coming up. There's some new growth on that lantana. That's exciting because it did get transplanted. Same here. And we still need to do soil removal. We got tubs full of stuff that we took out of here that was just roots and not the best soil. And the thing that we did yesterday, which was the 9th of March, is we brought out our big bougainvillea. It was in the garage while we were on vacation, so it has sprouted while it was in the garage, so we got it out here yesterday. And it'll go through a little bit of a shock, but it'll probably do fine. That's my garden.